What's up, guys? Welcome back. Amazing RC. It's your boy Brian. And well, it's WPL C34 time, and I'm very excited to have, well, this right here. This is one complete WPL C34, and as you can see, I got her running, and she's running well. Now there's a load of upgraded parts that we've put on here, and we're going to go over every single one of them here. But as far as it stands right now, because it's not done, it's not completely done. You know, if you've been watching the channel, that we're going to flex seal the outside of this thing. Probably two different colors, give it a texture, then we're going to airbrush some more over the flex seal, kind of give it some more accent. I had some issues along the way. Anybody who's ever built one of these from kit had to have had issues. I couldn't be the only possible one. And we're going to do a final word video on this at some later date. But I got it to this, and I got it outside running, and I had to share that with you. We did get one more upgraded part that's deep inside here that I think made a lot of difference once I finally got it in the vehicle. That's that steering servo bracket. It's an all-metal steering servo bracket. Now, granted, when I purchased said bracket, I actually got it as a set with this really cool all-metal 9-gram servo here. And the servo is great, but not for in here. So you can get the bracket by itself, which is what I'm going to link at the end of this video. But I got the bracket in finally. So much went into sanding and cutting and fitting, because remember, I did a carbon fiber chassis for this truck, and like I said, it was exactly the same as the original chassis, which leads me to believe that I would have had to do this exact same stuff to get the regular chassis, which is metal, that comes with the kit, to get it to where this is here. Because like I said, this isn't even done yet. There are 4 pressure clips that hold this body down to the chassis, okay? Now, there are also 3 screws, and that's what's in here now. There are 4 clips, and they're good diesel clips, and I'm guessing that it would go over the regular chassis, but why wouldn't it go over my carbon fiber chassis? It's exactly the same size. So, with that said, I'm going to shave a little bit on the chassis to get the clips to work, because I think it would make an already nice and stiff truck even more rigid, which would be really nice. Now, there's a ton about this truck that I can say that just doesn't meet the mark. You know, keep in mind, $45 truck, but as you can see how scaled this is, I mean, there's a lot of pieces to this body by itself. The body, I was rushing to try to get it done before dinner because I had to make dinner this evening, and I wanted to get the body done, and I was rushing, and I actually broke the back corner piece of glass trying to put it in upside down. I'm going to glue it in. I mean, it's never going to come out, but this is the body alone, $45. I think you can get the body for like $25, 22 bucks, totally worth it if you got it able to fit something that you already have sitting at the house. But anyway, so I totally stand by this in its 100% stock kit form. I think for $45, it is a stellar vehicle. So where we have it now, like I said, I have a ton of upgrades on here. We've got a motor and transmission that I've trusted in, not only my own builds, but also a build that I did for my buddy Gary, RC Trailcats. I trusted that motor for him as well. He actually just tweaked the motor because there was a little bit of a gear slip inside. He surgically removed this motor and transmission, fixed it, and surgically put it back in. And I mean, it was just amazing. I mean, it was just really cool video that he had over on his channel. But anyway, so motor and transmission in here. I'll have a link to all this stuff at the end of this video. Love that. Installed it. They made a couple changes on the motor and transmission that I kind of didn't approve. They dropped 2 screws. It used to be 4 screws that would bolt this thing down to the chassis, and they moved it to 2 screws, and then kind of 2 nubs that would lock it in place. And I don't approve, but it did work, and it's fine, and it'll probably last forever. But I really did like the 4 screws. Bang good if you're listening. So we obviously got the servo bracket up front. Took a ton of work to get that thing to fit in there correctly and get, you know, bolted down. But once I finally did, and most of that could be from my carbon fiber chassis. But once I did get it bolted down, obviously we didn't use this microscopic servo. We put the stock servo in. It fit nice, and when I say snug, those of you who have that same part, you will know out there, it's very snug. I basically had to stand on it. But once I got it in place, it locked down. And no instructions for any of these parts, so like the aftermarket servo and stuff. So, you know, try to figure some of this stuff out. Maybe you guys are smarter than I am, but it took me a really long time. But I finally did get it, and it's good, diesel, and solid, so we got that in place as well. Now, from a prior build, a C14, I had metal axles front and rear with those really cool red pumpkin covers, say WPL on them. Everything's like powder coated. Now, I had issues with those prior, getting, and it might not even be the housings themselves. It could have just been issues with, you know, the gears, you know, and the axles. But I did have issues before. I had issues now. I had to do a lot of tweaking to get them to work. As a matter of fact, I have the metal housings in the rear, and they're running flawlessly, and I have the stock plastic housings with the upgraded metal gears inside in the front. So definitely a mixed mash of parts up here, but you can probably get them to work. There is another set of metal axles for the front and rear for all these WPL cars, and I've been hunting that down, really checking it out. And I think I'm gonna get a set because they look like nothing at all like the axles that I always have issues with. So I will get a set of those in here, and we'll get them tested out. If you have a set, hit me in the comments below and let me know how you like or dislike them. I would love to hear what you have to say. Also in this, our ESC we've upgraded. We threw one of those 20 amp ESCs in there off Banggood. We have a 2-cell Lilo, I guess is what it is, but it's a 2-cell battery. We upgraded to this with that 20 amp ESC, and this gets us through a long time. I have another one of these batteries in another build that I did, and these are really, really good. As far as receiver and transmitter, as you can see, we have our RC6GS by Radiolink here. Inside the truck, we have our R6FG by Radiolink as well. There is one other upgraded little metal bits kind of thing that I got from Banggood. Now that also had bearings in it. It had the front steering linkage in it. It had the metal front wheel hubs in as well. There were several metal parts in the little bag. It was like 33 bucks. So I went ahead. I really got it for the bearings, but there was a ton else that I had. I think it was also metal gears and the metal axle rods that go on the inside, and then the little itty bitty bearings for the axles. I had all that in it for 33 bucks. It was well worth it. So that's everything as far as the upgrades we've already put inside this truck. Now, with that said, we're not done. Aside from flex sealing the entire outside of this thing, I want to get shocks for it, number one. Now, anybody out there that has this vehicle or something exactly like it, let me know what you guys got for shocks in that, if you like them, if you don't like them, because I haven't purchased anything yet on this. I actually had said in a previous video what I was going to purchase. One of my subscribers kind of spooked me on it. It was like, well, I have that same exact set, kind of didn't like it. So I want to know, before I purchase that, because I'm ready to pull the trigger, if you guys out there have something that you do like for this vehicle, please let me know in the comment section below. Aside from the shocks, we also need to light this thing up like a Christmas tree. Now, it does come with headlights for the front, but they were lackluster when it comes to quality. Now I have a whole boatload of LED lights, and I'm going to go ahead and not only fill the front end with this, but also drill a few holes in the rear as well as in the sides here and get an entire light system for this C34 right here. Speaking of lights, as far as on-off switches to get things to kind of turn on and off from the transmitter, it really isn't a ton of room underneath this hood right here. So far, the battery's going in there, the ESC goes in there, the receiver goes in there, and I mean, you're not working with much. So in order to get an on-off switch in there, there's gonna really be no room. Once I get this body back off to Flex Seal it, I'm gonna kind of poke around a little bit and see if I can hide all this stuff in a different place, get an on-off switch inside, be able to kind of control things from the transmitter as far as our lights go. So guys, that's where we're at now with our C34. I tell you, My thoughts on this right now, aside from all the crazy issues that I had with fitment, remember, I put the carbon fiber chassis in there. Maybe that's throwing everything off. You guys let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about kit form from beginning to end. Did you guys run into a bunch of crazy stuff? Or was it my carbon fiber chassis that kind of threw everything out of whack? But aside from that, I love this thing. 45 bucks plus a few bucks for extra parts. You honestly can't go wrong. I took it outside and it ran really good. I mean, up and down and all around. It went perfectly fine. So we're going to get out on a little course action here real soon. Get this body painted up. The next time you see this thing, we're going to be lit. Until then, this is Brian, and this is an amazing RC.